chip-chop, taking down an entire forest. Yeah, this is pretty much all I've been up to in between episodes. Got to get those emeralds, and honestly, knocking down dark oak trees is the best way to do it. If you missed the last episode, we're playing for Ice and Fire, a particularly well-known mod as it adds dragons to Minecraft, but it also adds a whole host of other mythical creatures that sometimes get a little overshadowed by the dragons. So in this episode, we'll be taking on the 3 non-dragon mini-bosses. The Gorgon, the Cyclops, and the Hydra, all plucked straight from the pages of Greek myth. In order to prepare for my first fight against the Gorgon, I made milk bottles. You can buy milk in 4 glass bottles, they cure 1 potion effect each. They're probably the most underrated thing in Farmer's Delight. Alongside the milk bottles, I made a blindfold. Just like in the legends, the Gorgon will turn you to stone with her piercing glare. In order to avoid eye contact, you must wear a blindfold or just stare at the ground, but that's not as cool. The blindfold is just a little off. I don't know how well this is going to protect me. Good thing I'm an overachiever and just edit it onto my skin. The real reason why I added cosmetic armour. I did all this while being pushed around in my own home by a wandering trader. They really do make themselves at home. With my diamond sword in hand, I set off towards this terrible temple. And I found a little baby dragon. He was only 1 bone tall. Beneath these ruined temples lives the Gorgon, sealed away for all our safety. For the foolish adventurer looking to fight her, you must flip the levers to open the doors. Make sure you have your blindfold on, as she does have a habit of waiting for you at the top of the stairs. Fortunately for me, she wasn't there, so I cautiously made my way down the stairs. There's a certain kind of horror in knowing you're about to be attacked, but you can't see where they are. All you can hear is the laughing and the hissing, before she comes charging straight at you. Without the blindfold, she'll petrify you. But if you're wearing it, she'll attack you, giving you poison. You can see why I brought the milk, even though I didn't drink it. I kept her at the bottom of the stairs and I just hit her as many times as possible. It wasn't a very elegant fight and it was a little closer than I would have liked, and unfortunately there wasn't any iPods involved. Still, it ended as the original tale did, with her lying beheaded on the floor. This is quite a gruesome conclusion, definitely one of the more graphic deaths I've seen in the mod. The sole reward you get from this fight, not including the skulls that decorate her lair, is a head that can be used to petrify a single mob of your choosing, so make sure you use it wisely. I've chosen to place mine in my throne room as the first of my many trophies. Don't ask why she's upside down, I'm not fully sure myself. I'm not wasting any time today as I craft my sheep disguise. Yeah, this looks convincing. Our next mini-boss is the Cyclops, the single-eyed giant with a fondness for sheep. Hence, the sheep disguise. The Cyclops can spawn either randomly in plain savannas or meadows, or on beaches in their cove. This is what I'll be looking for. To do this, I headed to the mainland and followed the coastline, dodging a dragon or 2 in the process. Don't worry, we'll be dealing with them in the next episode. Eventually, the rocky cove came into view on my minimap. The stone dome is home to sheep, gold, and of course the Cyclops. And look, he's not interested in me as far as he is aware I'm just a silly little sheep, which is going to make it even more confusing when I start climbing the walls. Clearing a hole in the top, I line up my bow, say a little prayer to Apollo, and release, striking the Cyclops straight in the eye. Doing this blinds him and significantly reduces the range in which he can see me. The rest of the fight involved unloading the rest of my quiver into him as the poor confused creature barely puts up a fight. Honestly, I feel a little mean for this, at least the Gorgon tried to poison me. Still, I was rewarded with a whole load of golden mutton and some unidentified remains. As for the Cyclops drops, I got the Eye of the Cyclops and Cyclops meat. The Eye of the Cyclops inflicts weakness on nearby hostile mobs when held. This applies to anything with a melee attack, so it can come useful against a variety of mobs. Just keep in mind its durability. Mine's going safely on my podium right next to the Gorgon's head. Yeah, this room is going to get real creepy real soon. I also got to implement the first of my many armor stats. Only the most intimidating to start the collection. Now, some of my more dedicated viewers will know that this isn't my first encounter with the Hydra. Back when I played the Twilight Forest, I took on their version of the Hydra. A fierce, fire-breathing dragon. The one in Ice and Fire is a little bit different. It's a lot more reptilian looking, like a multi-headed snake. And this time it spits poison rather than fire. Yeah, we've got 2 snake-themed poison-spitting monsters in this episode. Now, the best way to defeat the Hydra is to use fire. Fire prevents it from growing more heads. Now, a sensible person would use flame or fire aspect. But I don't have that, and that sounds like too much work. You know what I do have? Lava! Yeah, this is my genius strategy, I'm gonna dump lava on it. But first I must find it. A Hydra's lair is located in the swamp biome, and is quite a humble structure, especially compared to the others. I just have to hope that the fight doesn't pique the interest of the fire dragon in the distance. To achieve optimal lava dumping, I towered up and made a little bridge. Now I just need its attention. And boy, did it not want anything to do with me. Eventually I got his attention and dumped the lava, setting it on fire. It's of course not very happy, and this breath can still reach me up here. Good thing I have my Milky. Unfortunately, my genius scheme didn't go quite as planned as it knocked me off the platform. A note for future adventurers, don't make your platform 1 block wide. It matters not, though. The beast still died as it desperately tried to fight against the lava burning away at its scaly flesh. From its burnt carcass, I got rotten flesh, some cooked Hydra meat, its fangs, and lastly its heart. This is officially J2 and Hydra 0. The 2 key things the Hydra drops is its fangs and its heart. The fangs are used to craft poison arrows, a nice alternative to tipped arrows. I'm not going to make any for the time being, but I may choose to use them later on. I can only discuss the boss drops as the lair had no chests. I mean, they're not a guaranteed thing, but still, how unlucky is that? I mean, I'm not too broken up over it, as the loot inside is a little lackluster like most of the chests in Ice and Fire. Once I had headed home, I placed its heart upon the pedestal. It's not going to live here, as having it in your hotbar grants you regeneration. So it's going to come in handy from future fights. But for now, I can just admire it. Although I'm not quite sure admiration is the first word that comes to mind when you walk into my trophy room. Still, we made a lot of progress today as we checked the first 3 mini-bosses off the list. In the next episode, I want to take on the dragons. That may sound simple, but wow, there is a lot to dragons, and a lot we're going to have to do in preparation if we even want to stand a chance when fighting them. This series was originally going to be 3 parts, but I was flicking through the wiki when I realised I have to trade with the ants! So yeah, we still have plenty to do making this a 4-part series. If that sounds like a good time to you, then make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when it comes out. And in the meantime, check out my Twilight Forest series for more ancient mythology-based shenanigans. And, as the night draws in, I must bid you all a good night.